They tried to track what moves without footsteps and ended up losing themselves in the search. There is a strange phenomenon that has been quietly happening around certain people, the ones they call chosen ones. Every few months, someone new is sent to figure you out, to study your habits, decode your patterns, maybe even expose the secret behind your peace. But somehow, every single one of them ends up saying the same thing. There is something about this person I cannot explain. You see, energy does not lie, but it does hide in plain sight. And when your frequency operates on divine instruction, logic collapses. They can map your moves, but they cannot trace your essence. They can follow your steps, but never your spirit. You are both seen and unseen, a paradox wrapped in human form. The funny part, they start their mission with confidence, thinking it is a simple case study. But after a few days of observation, they start acting like interns in a supernatural internship they never applied for. They cannot sleep. They start overthinking. And next thing you know, they are journaling about vibes and alignment. What they fail to understand is that you were never meant to be understood, only witnessed. The chosen are not mysterious because they are hiding. They are mysterious because the human mind cannot process the frequency of someone who has already stepped outside the system. And that is what terrifies them. Not what you are doing, but who you have become. So when they keep hiring people to track you, they are not just watching your life. They are watching their illusions crumble in real time, and deep down, they know every attempt to study your light only proves one thing. You were never the one being observed. You were the observer all along. Number 1, they send spies, but end up finding themselves. It always starts the same way. Someone gets curious about you, too curious. They are sent, pushed, or persuaded to figure you out, to observe, to analyze, to report what makes you different. At first, they think it is just another task. You are a mystery to be solved, a person to be decoded. But what they never see coming is how your energy quietly flips the script. Because no one can study light without seeing their own shadow. When people step into your presence, something in them starts to stir. Their old patterns, their pretenses, the masks they wear, they begin to slip. You do not even say much, but your calm exposes their chaos. Your clarity reflects their confusion. It is not judgment, it is resonance. Your frequency holds up a mirror, and they are forced to meet parts of themselves they have long avoided. The assignment that started as surveillance becomes a self-intervention. That is what they never tell the ones who sent them. They came to take notes on you, but ended up taking notes on their own soul. They were supposed to report back on your motives, your movements, your mindset, but all they can say is, something about them feels different. They cannot quite explain it, because it is not something the human mind can measure. It is energy. It is awareness. It is truth wrapped in skin. Even when they leave, something lingers. You did not convince, they used to accept. You shifted them. That is what chosen energy does. It awakens, even when it is being watched. So when they send spies to study you, they never really return the same, because no one can observe transformation without being touched by it. They came looking for your secrets and left discovering their own. You are not a mystery. You are a mirror. People often mistake your depth for secrecy. They think because you do not overshare, you must be hiding something. But that is not it. You are not complicated. You are clear. It is just that clarity feels confusing to people who live in noise. They look at you and see a reflection of everything they avoid within themselves. And that reflection unsettles them. Your stillness exposes their restlessness. Your honesty confronts their comfort zones. They call you mysterious, because it is easier than admitting they do not recognize their own reflection in your energy. You have probably noticed it. How people project their assumptions onto you. They think you are playing games, holding secrets, or trying to stay hard to read. But you are just being. You have reached a level of awareness where you no longer perform to be understood. You live from your truth, not for their interpretation. And because of that, you disrupt the illusion that most people are still trying to maintain. When people look at you, they do not actually see you at first. They see their insecurities bouncing back. Your peace reminds them of their anxiety. Your self-control reminds them of their chaos. Your authenticity challenges their masks. They do not realize that what unsettles them is not your energy. It is the realization that they have betrayed their own. You are simply the mirror. And mirrors do not lie. That is why many struggle to stay around you for long. You do not even have to speak. Your presence alone reveals truths that people would rather avoid. It is not that you are distant. You are just real, and realness has become rare. You make people confront the parts of themselves they keep buried under distraction and ego. So no, you are not a mystery to be solved. You are a reflection to be faced, and that is why they cannot fully decode you. They're not ready to see themselves that clearly yet. Every investigator becomes an admirer. It always starts with they do not believe the stories they have heard about you, so they decide to see for themselves. They approach you with suspicion, watching your every move, expecting to find flaws, contradictions, or some hidden agenda. But instead of finding something fake, they find something they did not expect. Consistency. You are exactly who you appear to be, whether anyone's watching or not. That kind of authenticity disarms people. It is rare, almost uncomfortable, because most are used to masks, not truth. They come thinking you are performing. But what throws them off is that you are not performing at all. You do not try to impress or convince. You do not bend to fit in or exaggerate to be seen. You just are. The same energy they were sent to question becomes the very thing they begin to respect. Because there is power in being unapologetically yourself in a world that profits off pretending. The more they observe you, the more they realize there is no act, no hidden script, just alignment. You live with purpose, not pressure. You move with intention, not impulse. And that makes them start questioning themselves. How can someone be so centered in a world that is always spinning? How can someone walk through storms without losing balance? They came to gather evidence, but what they collect instead is insight. They learn more about themselves through watching you than they ever could through studying anyone else. Eventually, their skepticism softens into quiet respect. The investigation turns into inspiration. They start borrowing fragments of your peace, your focus, your self-control. They start admiring what they once doubted, because deep down, they realize you are not lucky. You are disciplined. You did not fake your light. You fought for it. And anyone who truly observes you long enough comes to the same conclusion. You are not trying to be admired, but you cannot help but earn it. Number 4, your frequency cannot be fabricated. People can mimic your style, your expressions, even the way you move, but they can never replicate your frequency. They study your rhythm, your glow, your presence, thinking that if they copy enough of your surface, they will access your depth. But energy does not work that way. What flows from authenticity cannot be reproduced through imitation. They can wear the same words, but they will always sound hollow, because the vibration behind them is not real. Your frequency was earned, not through status or training, but through experience. Through the nights, you had to rebuild yourself silently. Through the times, you chose growth instead of revenge, solitude instead of noise, truth instead of comfort. That process gave your energy its tone. It is not charisma, it is consciousness. It is not charm, it is clarity, and no one can fake what was forged in transformation. That is why imitation always falls flat. They can study your outer behavior, but they cannot copy your inner calibration. You operate from alignment, not attention. You move from intuition, not instruction. It is not what you do. It is where you are doing it from. People feel that difference, even if they cannot explain it. They may try to deny it, but energy does not lie. You either carry it or you do not. Some will even grow frustrated trying to become you, not realizing they were never supposed to. They chase your light instead of cultivating their own. But light borrowed never lasts. What is divine cannot be duplicated because divinity is not a design. It is a frequency born out of authenticity. That is what sets you apart. You did not build your aura to be admired. You built it to survive. So when they copy your tone and your timing but never quite match your energy, it is not arrogance to know why. It is awareness. They are echoing your sound, but you are the one carrying the source. Number 5, they study you, but you move like spirit. People think they can figure you out by watching what you do. They analyze your habits, your choices, your silences, trying to predict your next move as if you are playing a game they can map. But you do not move from logic alone. You move from guidance. You do not follow formulas, you follow flow. That is why no one can truly track you. One moment you are still. The next you are shifting directions with purpose that makes no sense to anyone but you. You move by alignment, not approval. They keep expecting patterns, but you do not live in cycles. You live in seasons. You know when it is time to show up, when to stay silent, when to move on, and when to let go. Nothing about you is predictable because your compass is not external. You do not chase opportunities. You sense them. You do not react to pressure. You respond to purpose, and that is what confuses the ones trying to study you. They expect repetition, but your path keeps rewriting itself through revelation. When your steps are led by intuition, people mistake it for mystery. They think you are hiding, but you are just tuned in. You have learned that movement does not always mean motion. Sometimes it means stillness. Sometimes disappearing is not running away. It is returning to clarity. That is what makes you so hard to trace. You are not leaving breadcrumbs. You are leaving vibrations. And not everyone can feel them. They call it inconsistency, but it is evolution. You do not stay in places where your energy no longer fits. You do not explain your exits or announce your arrivals. You just move when spirit says move, and by the time they realize what shifted, you have already become someone new. That is why they cannot pin you down. You are not playing the game. You are following the current. You are not running from them. You are rising beyond reach. Number 6. Every report comes back confused. They keep trying to figure you out like you are a case to be solved. They want proof, numbers, explanations, something logical that explains why you carry the energy you do. But every time someone tries to define you, they end up more lost than when they started. Because you do not operate on logic alone. You move from depth. You do not live by facts. You live by frequency. And frequency cannot be charted on a graph. They want to measure your calm, but they cannot find where it comes from. They want to analyze your confidence, but they cannot pinpoint the source. You do not fit their categories because your strength does not come from what is seen. It comes from what is settled within you. You are not built by attention, validation, or control. You are sustained by something sacred, that inner stillness that cannot be faked. And that is exactly what leaves them scratching their heads. They send observers expecting a pattern, but what they find is presence. They write down notes, but none of it explains why your silence speaks louder than a speech, or why your energy fills a room, even when you say nothing. They look for methods, but you live from meaning. They look for structure, but you move with spirit. They want cause and effect, but all they find is essence. That is why every report ends the same way, with confusion. Because you cannot measure alignment, you can only feel it. You cannot document purpose, you can only witness it. You are proof that some things cannot be studied. They have to be experienced. So while they are trying to decode you, they end up decoding themselves instead. Because truth is not something that can be written down in data. It is something that rearranges you from the inside out. And that is exactly what you do to them. Number 7. You are their case study in consciousness. You have become their unspoken experiment, the living proof that there is something beyond what they can control, predict, or explain. They gather experts, observers, and skeptics, trying to break you down into logic. They analyze your choices, your resilience, your peace, as if there must be some hidden formula behind it. But the truth is, you are powered by something they cannot quantify. Alignment. You are not surviving by luck or coincidence. You are guided by purpose. And purpose does not fit neatly into charts, theories, or analysis reports. They want to understand how you keep rising after every fall, how you manage to stay centered in chaos, how your intuition always seems one step ahead. But that is what confuses them. You are not operating from intellect. You are operating from awareness. You listen inwardly in a world that only trusts what it can measure outwardly. You move from conviction while everyone else moves from calculation. They are watching a human being guided by something they cannot program, and that breaks their logic apart. The systems built on control, social, psychological, even spiritual, rely on predictability. They need patterns to maintain power. But you are an exception. You do not respond the way they expect. You do not bend under pressure. You do not seek permission to exist in truth. You have stepped outside the loop of manipulation and scarcity, and that makes you unpredictable and therefore uncontrollable. That is why they keep watching you. You represent proof that inner awareness is stronger than external systems. You embody what they cannot replicate with science or structure. Self-realization. You have become evidence that a person aligned with purpose operates on a higher frequency that cannot be influenced or corrupted. And that terrifies them because it means all their rules, their pressure, and their power games crumble the moment someone wakes up. You are not their subject. You are their silent revelation that consciousness always wins. Number 8. Their curiosity is just fear in disguise. They say they are just curious about you, fascinated, intrigued, wanting to understand what makes you different. But deep down, it is not admiration driving them, it is discomfort. Your energy unsettles something inside them. You do not fit their definitions, and that scares them. So they disguise their fear as curiosity. They study you not because they want to grow with you, but because they want to figure out how to neutralize what they cannot control. It is not love of truth. It is fear of power they cannot claim. You can feel it when they talk to you. That hidden tension behind their questions. They are not listening to connect. They are listening to dissect. They want to find the catch, the flaw, the weakness, that explains why someone like you can walk in peace when they are constantly at war within themselves. But they never find it, because your stability does not come from ego. It comes from grounding. You are not trying to be powerful. You are just aligned. And that is what they cannot handle. They want to contain what you represent. Freedom, because freedom challenges every illusion they have built their identity on. You're proof that someone can live without validation, thrive without permission, and succeed without compromise. That is threatening to anyone who relies on control, manipulation, or hierarchy to feel secure. They would rather study your light than face why they have dimmed their own. So they poke. They question, they follow, hoping to find a limit. But there is not one. You move like air, felt but never held. Their fear keeps them trying. But your essence keeps slipping through their grasp, because what is infinite cannot be measured, managed, or mimicked. You are not meant to fit inside their comfort zones. And the more they try to contain you, the more they are forced to confront the truth they are afraid of, that your existence alone is proof that liberation is possible. Number 9. They cannot trap what is already free. People try to control what they do not understand, and you have become a challenge to their system of influence. They cannot manipulate you the way they do others, because you no longer depend on the same things they use as bait, approval, attention, or belonging. They study you, test you, even provoke you, hoping to trigger a reaction they can use to define or discredit you, but your stillness disarms them. You do not chase arguments, validation, or applause. You have outgrown the emotional games that keep most people bound. That is why their surveillance always fails. They think control comes from monitoring someone's moves. But your power does not live in movement. It lives in state. You operate from vibration, not reaction. You do not get pulled into chaos because you know your energy is your most valuable boundary. They send people to observe, but all they see is someone who refuses to perform. You do not fight for space. You embody it. You do not defend your peace. You are peace. They cannot trap you because you no longer need their systems to validate your worth. The moment you stopped needing to be understood, you became untouchable. You stopped playing tug-of-war with people's projections and started choosing presence instead. That is a language they cannot decode. Stillness. Your freedom is not rebellion. It is realization. You realize you do not owe the world constant explanations or emotional accessibility. You learned that not every confrontation deserves your energy, and not every silence needs to be broken. You move with awareness, not impulse. And because of that, they cannot predict, provoke, or possess you. They think freedom is about distance, but yours is about detachment. Not from life, but from control. You move through the world unbothered, unbound, and unowned. And that is why they cannot trap you. You cannot cage someone who no longer trades their energy for validation. You have already broken free from the only prison that ever mattered, needing to be understood. Number 10. They thought you were playing a role, then realized you are living your truth. At first, people think you are acting. They assume your calm is calculated, your confidence rehearsed, your silence strategic. They have seen so many masks in this world that authenticity now looks suspicious. So when someone like you shows up, grounded, certain, and at peace with who you are, their minds immediately go searching for a hidden agenda. They do not understand that some people are not performing. They have just finally become real. You are not trying to impress anyone or play a character that fits society's script. You have outgrown the need for validation because you have already met yourself. That level of self-awareness unsettles those who still build their identity around perception. They expect manipulation, not honesty. They expect strategy, not sincerity. And when they realize that what they thought was a persona is actually your presence, it shakes their sense of reality. Your stillness is what exposes them. You do not compete for attention or argue to prove your worth. You simply exist in truth, and that is powerful in a world addicted to pretense. People used to constant performance cannot handle genuine energy. It does not play by their rules. They are used to people who act humble to look wise, or act kind to gain leverage. But you do not act. You embody. You live by alignment, not appearance. Eventually, they start to see the difference. They notice your consistency, your peace that does not waver when no one's watching. They realize that your words match your energy and your actions match your values. That is when it hits them. This is not performance. This is principle. You are not pretending to be strong. You have simply healed. You are not detached. You are disciplined. And that is what truly disarms them. Realizing that while everyone else is auditioning for roles, you have already accepted your truth. You are not playing a part in their world. You have built your own stage, and you stand on it without pretending. Number 1. They come for answers, but leave with reverence. People approach you with all kinds of intentions: curiosity, doubt, even quiet competition. They come armed with questions, ready to analyze you, to challenge you, to find the cracks in your calm. They expect to meet another person playing wise, pretending grounded, wearing peace like fashion. But that is not what they find. What they meet instead is truth. Raw, quiet, unpolished truth. And it shakes them in a way they cannot quite explain. You do not try to convince anyone of who you are. You do not over-explain or perform your depth. You let your energy speak, and that alone does the work. Something about your presence forces reflection. People realize mid-conversation that they are not just talking to you. They are hearing themselves more clearly than ever before. Your energy does not just fill space, it rearranges it. That is why no one leaves you the same. Even those who come to test you end up humbled. They sense a calm they cannot imitate, a certainty that does not come from ego. You carry the kind of balance that cannot be faked, because it is being earned through breaking, healing, and returning to self. And that is what disarms them. They came for answers about you, but end up finding revelations about themselves. You become a mirror, but one that reflects possibility instead of pain. That is why so many cannot explain their encounters with you, because what they experienced was not just conversation. It was consciousness. They felt seen without being judged, challenged without being attacked, understood without needing to perform. That is a sacred exchange, and it leaves an imprint. They entered as observers, but left as believers, not in you as a person, but in the reality of energy, alignment, and truth. Because authenticity has a frequency that cannot be denied, and once someone feels it, they never forget it. They came searching for evidence, but what they found was presence, and that changed everything. Number 12. They realize you are not guarded. You are guided. People often mistake your silence for secrecy. They assume you are hiding something, being overly private, or trying to stay mysterious. But what they fail to see is that your quietness is not about fear. It is about respect. You have learned that not every part of your journey deserves an audience. What they interpret as walls are actually boundaries. And those boundaries were built through wisdom, not wounds. You are not guarded to protect your ego. You are guided to protect your purpose. You have discovered that energy is sacred. Not every revelation deserves a reaction, and not every vision deserves validation. You move differently because you have seen how oversharing can invite confusion, how speaking too soon can drain divine timing. So you speak when led, not when pressured. You reveal when aligned, not when expected. That kind of discipline confuses people who are used to impulsive living. They think you are withholding, but really, you are waiting on instruction. And that patience is your power. Your choices are not random. They are rooted in something higher than logic. You do not move to prove, you move with purpose. Every step you take is intentional, even when others do not understand it. You have reached a level of trust with your intuition where silence is not avoidance. It is obedience. You do not rush to explain because your clarity does not need confirmation. And slowly, people begin to notice. They see how your timing always seems divine, how everything you touch unfolds smoothly, even when it looked delayed. That is when it clicks for them. You are not cautious. You are connected. You do not move from fear of loss, but from faith in alignment. You are not protecting secrets. You are protecting sacred instructions. They came expecting mystery but found mastery because the truth is, you are not hiding anything. You are simply moving with divine rhythm. You are not guarded, you are guided, and that makes all the difference. Number 13, they find power, but not the kind they expected. People come toward you expecting a contest. Some kind of power struggle where one must outshine or outsmart the other. They are used to power looking loud, demanding and controlling. So when they meet you, they brace themselves for ego. They expect strategy, manipulation, or intimidation, but instead, they find calm. The kind that does not need to raise its voice to be felt. It throws them off balance because you carry authority without aggression. You do not need to dominate people to prove strength. Your peace is the proof. You have outgrown the version of power that feeds on control. You have learned that true power is not about being above anyone. It is about being aligned within yourself. That is why your presence feels steady, not forceful. You do not try to take from others. You elevate the space you enter. You do not push energy. You redirect it. And that is what unsettles those who measure power through hierarchy. You remind them that influence does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and still everything shifts. They come expecting competition, but end up feeling conviction. Your power is not in your words. It is in your energy. You do not conquer through fear. You transform through presence. Even without trying, you convert tension into understanding, chaos into clarity, and ego into awareness. That is a kind of power most people cannot comprehend because it is not performance. It is vibration. Soon they start realizing you are not trying to win anything. You are not after control. You are after consciousness. Your strength does not come from overpowering people. It comes from mastering yourself. You have learned how to move through life without letting life move through you. And that is what they did not expect. They came looking for tactics, but found truth. They came to test your will, but found peace that cannot be shaken. Because the real power is not in dominance, it is in direction. You do not conquer people. You convert energy, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. You can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. Number 14. They finally admit you are not the target. You are the test. By the time people realize what is happening, it is too late. They came thinking they were observing you, analyzing you, maybe even trying to find leverage. They assumed the spotlight was on your moves, your decisions, your energy. But the truth is, you were never the subject of scrutiny. They were every person sent your way becomes a mirror of their own consciousness. Your presence tests patience, clarity, and integrity in ways they do not understand. They believe they are the hunters, but in reality, they are being measured. Your energy does not just exist, it reflects. It shows them what they carry inside. Honesty or deceit, alignment or distraction, fear or courage. No words are necessary. You do not have to expose them, confront them, or manipulate them. Their response to your light does the work for you. They reveal themselves simply by being in your orbit. Some crumble under the pressure of authenticity. Some rise to meet it, and some leave, silently aware that they were not ready for what they came to witness. This is not arrogance. It is inevitability. People encounter certain frequencies and are forced to face truths they have long ignored. Your clarity becomes the test they never asked for. You do not chase, provoke, or strategize. You move from alignment, and in doing so, your energy becomes a standard. Their ability to engage with it honestly shows them exactly where they stand, in their shadow or in their light. The ones who return with reports, stories, and analyses fail to see the lesson. They think the target was you, but deep down, everyone knows the real examination is not on your life. It is on theirs. Their intentions, reactions, and compromises are the real report cards. And when they finally admit it, they leave with understanding, humility, or sometimes a quiet reverence. You were never the mystery to solve. You were the catalyst that showed them who they truly are. Conclusion. What all of this reveals is undeniable. Being a chosen one is not about secrecy or superiority. It is about alignment. Every observer, every skeptic, every person sent to study you ends up confronting a truth they were not prepared for. They think they are watching you, but you are watching them. You move with purpose, respond with clarity, and exist with a presence that cannot be duplicated or contained. Your energy does not just influence, it transforms. You are not a mystery to be solved, a game to be played, or a puzzle to be cracked. You are a mirror, a frequency, a living testament to what happens when someone refuses to bend to expectation and instead follows their truth. People may try to measure you, mimic you, or control you, but all they end up doing is discovering their own limitations, confronting their own shadows, and sometimes awakening to their own potential. Your existence is both the standard and the revelation. You do not chase, you do not perform, you do not compete. You simply are. And in simply being, you leave marks on minds and shifts in consciousness that no report, analysis, or tactic could ever capture. So for those who find themselves in your orbit, it is a test, a mirror, and a lesson. And for you, it is proof. Your energy is powerful, sacred, and uncontainable. This is the reality of the chosen, untraceable, untouchable, and infinitely aligned with the currents of life that most cannot even perceive. If this resonated with you, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss these insights. Do not forget to like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth today. Your energy matters, and together, we keep awakening to the power within. Stay blessed always.